I'm M. Carter Pierce, and this is the Daily Reel. 'Tis the season to be angry. But why, you say? Well, short story. I remember when I was a child. I'm 63 years old, so that means I was a child of the 60s, the 70s, and the early 80s. And as I think about how it was back in my childhood around this time of year, people got nicer. It usually started right about Thanksgiving, where people would meet you in the street, people that normally didn't speak to you, but you would see them in the street and they would speak to you. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. It was a friendlier time of year. And even though there was the commercial rush for Christmas, it wasn't as bad as it is now with this whole material wealth thing, and the proof of love is by the cost of the item. But this year, sadly, we really don't have things to celebrate. And especially coming up on Christmas, the time where we celebrate the birth of Jesus, who espoused over and over and over again about loving your neighbor as yourself. He said it's the second greatest commandment, of equal stature with loving God. But this November, Thanksgiving's going to be real thin. Because since Donald Trump and his allies, after giving these billionaires a $4.5 trillion tax cut, well, they just can't afford to let everybody stay on Medicaid, so they blamed illegal immigrants, which is false. Then they want to take away the ACA subsidies. And I know for a fact, I spoke to my cousin over the weekend, where he was paying $500 something a month for he and his wife. Again, $500 a month. He will now be paying $1,400 a month. $1,400. And that's not just going to go up for Democrats. If you're a Republican and you think that your ACA subsidies are going to stay in place, no. Got to pay for those billionaires. You're going to get hit too. But wait, there's more. Because the USDA announced on October 25th that because of the government shutdown, because of the fact that Republicans, MAGA Republicans, don't even want to talk to Democrats about this situation. They don't want to come to some kind of a negotiation. They don't want to give in because Donald Trump said dominance and they have to rule everything. No, see, now they don't want to talk, so the government stays shut down, and now nobody's getting SNAP, which means that, I don't know, a few 100,000 people aren't going to eat for Thanksgiving. Maybe even millions. In fact, it's fair to say millions. And many of those millions are Republicans. And many of those Republicans are children. But wait. Everybody loves Trump. Trump loves the people. Trump loves this country. He loves this country so much that without any permits or anything, he destroyed the East Wing of the White House. Even after when he initially, back in July, announced that he wanted to make this ballroom, he said he will not touch the structure itself. It'll be next to it. And yet he gutted the whole East Wing, which is the public entrance of the White House. In other words, he took in contributions which tally up to more than this project is going to actually cost. And those people in turn are going to be expecting favor from the White House. It's a bribe. We don't call it a ballroom. We call it the Briberoom, because that's what it is. It's where he's going to accept bribes at galas. The man says he couldn't pay New York what he owed in fines, but he made $3 billion this year, according to recent estimates. $3 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to see how ridiculous he is, how evil this is, how this is Project 2025 coming to fruition. And it's not made for the Republican Party. It's made for the benefit of a dumbass, old, senile Donald Trump. He's the only one who's going to benefit from all of this. Meanwhile, your health insurance is going to skyrocket, and you can't even get your SNAP benefits. What a boon this is, right? For the factory workers who aren't paid anywhere near what they should be getting paid. And they have a couple of kids. See, Republicans want you to have the kids, but they're not going to help you take care of them. Oh no, you keep that baby. But we're not going to put a system in place to help you if you do. We're going to take them away from you. And that's all Donald Trump wants to do, is take away for us and give. Give to the billionaires who do not need it. I submit to you, we need what's called an economic reset, where for one day we just put the brakes on everything. Money has no meaning, no selling, no buying, nothing. For one day, economic reset. And then we drive the prices back to where they used to be. We rein in billionaire CEOs' salaries. We make them pay their fair share of taxes. Trickle down is a farce and a delusion. It's been disproven. It does not work. They're not going to be, per se, the job creators. They're going to create jobs as they need them regardless. Getting tax breaks is not an extra incentive, like they're not going to create more because they got a tax break. That's horseshit. Plain and simple. Time for them to pay their fair share and take the burden off those who don't have 10% of what they have. The people that have less than 10% of the average millionaire or billionaire are the ones that are making up the deficit left by their tax cut. Does that make sense to you? Let them pay their fair share. Choke them off on how much profit they can make without taxation. And limit their fucking salaries while you're at it. And if they want more than one jet, one yacht, one mansion, tax them. Tax them for it. That's how you get that $38 trillion, which, by the way, Donald Trump added 8 of that $38 trillion to it and is continuing to add. That's how you're going to get that down. That's how you're going to cause domestic tranquility, where everybody gets their share. And by all means, you're pouring money into this immigration enforcement crackpot that's not going to do a goddamn thing. Because when he's gone, as it is, the way it's being done is illegal. For God's sake, he tried to stop birthright citizenship, meaning if you were born here, if your parents were born here, you're an automatic citizen. It's in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. It's very clear. Not to mention, he would be affected by that if that got revoked. Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I forgot. He thinks he's above the law. And unfortunately, Congress allows him to be. One final thought. Elections are coming next year. Elections are coming again in 2028. This country has not been this bad in 200 years. 200. Let's be clear. It has to stop if this country is going to survive. It starts this November by voting out Republican governors who will support this madman. It starts this November by electing people to the House of Representatives who do not share this foolish MAGA ideology. It continues into 2026 at the midterms. It's time to vote MAGA the hell out. And it's going to continue to 2028. And if Donald Trump even thinks about darkening the electoral stage, if he's even alive then, which I'm quite suspicious of, there's only one thing to do. Vote him the fuck out. Because it's getting to a point where drastic measures are going to be required. I'm M. Carter Pierce, and you've been watching The Daily Reel. See you tomorrow.